If you're a business leader who wants strategies for looking at questions, problems, and opportunities differently, which are results or looking at results differently, watch this video. Results are neither good nor bad, but what thinking makes them so. This is a flip on this guy's perspective. And it is a little interesting to me that if I'm here, you kind of think you know who it is, but when you see the rest of his hair, probably everybody knows who it is almost immediately, even if you didn't get the reference to the quote. So if anything I say in this video is useful or beneficial to you, I would love to hear from you. I'm going to ask some questions at the end. I would love to hear, have you put questions in the comments or get a hold of me directly or share this video with somebody. Thanks. So you can reframe any result or situation, and that's a really important thing to realize. Everybody realizes it, but we all also forget it, especially when we're too close to something. So I'm going to talk about different strategies for doing this, and the first one is to change the context. Kites fly in the sky. That's a stupid statement, isn't it? Of course, kites fly in the sky. What else would they do? And they only fly when it's windy out. Except, what if we used tidal flow and put the kite in the water instead? Now, kites fly every day, produce way more energy because water is something like 2,000 times more dense than air. So the same kite now delivers a whole lot more energy. And you use tidal flow as the wind, and you put a kite underwater, and now you've got underwater kite energy. And that research is going on now and has been going on for a number of years. On the same theme of kites, let's talk about changing the scale, but staying in the sky. So not the context, but the scale. Saul Griffith's famous TED Talk about kite power resulted in him starting a company called, I'll put the thing to the kite power talk right there, basically resulted in him taking kids' toys, which then he saw kite surfers. I think that's what it was. I'm pretty sure he saw kite surfers and went, that's a lot of energy. It's like a power boat for people to be able to kite surf. So that's a lot of energy that they're getting from the wind. What if we could apply that to making power from windmills? And changing from what a windmill is. So this is a change in perspective, but also a change in scale. By changing both perspective and scale, he was like, we can make giant kites and harvest energy out of them much more practically than you could with a windmill. So that happened. And it was at least successful enough that it caught the attention of Google, and Google's parent company, Alphabet, bought Saul Griffith's Makani Kite Energy, which was awesome. But then after 7 years of effort, Alphabet decided that they hadn't by that time, after 7 years of trying, weren't able to make what they were satisfied with, a flight control system. And basically what they said is a flight control system that they were happy with after 7 years of effort. They said that the development was too slow and the results were too risky. So they sold that company off, Makani Kite Energy, to another interest. But again, let's talk about another one. We'll go back to perspective now. By thinking differently about what a flight control system is and what it must contain and doesn't need to contain, I have a flight control system that could solve the problem today, or could be deployed today to solve that problem, just because I changed the perspective. That's as much as it can take. Sometimes thinking of the same thing in a different way is all you need to make a major difference that a multi-billion-dollar company didn't solve after 7 years. The next one is change the time frame. Time matters, right? 2 weeks to get a hamburger is an unacceptably long time to wait. But let's talk about a different one, and this is thread. Thread that breaks down or decomposes, dissolves after 2 weeks is utterly useless for your clothing, but extremely good for dissolving stitches. And remember, time frames are just a different type of scale, right? Like scale of size, but scale of time. So they're just sort of two different versions of the same thing. So at the end of this video, and we're already towards the end, I want to ask some questions, and I would love to hear some comments in the thing, or again, you can reach out directly, whichever. How can your results become advantages and solutions? Notice I didn't say, how can your products, your results, regardless, because they are not good nor bad, they're only results, how can they become advantages and solutions? And then another question is, how can your problems become opportunities? Thread that dissolves, oh no, that's terrible, unless you use it for stitches. Glue that doesn't stick well but sticks repeatedly, oh no, that's terrible, unless you make it into Post-it notes. So those are some examples of those. So most things, most innovations are obvious, but they're only obvious after the fact. And one of the best ways to get solutions that then become obvious is to get outside help, because others have an outside perspective not attached to the history that you and your company and the individuals in it have. So many times we can't reframe it for ourselves. And I want to give you a recommendation here for a video to watch called Neuro-Agility and Goal Setting. And I'll put it right there, the link to it, and in the description. And neuro-agility is sort of like the difference between, instead of being neuro-resilient, neuro-agility helps you dodge the bullet, whereas resilience helps you recover from getting hit by the bullet. Obviously, this is a metaphor for different things in business, but resilience is only necessary if the bullet has already hit you, if you've already run into the problem. So really what it comes down to is it's better to be agile or neuro-agile than to be resilient. My name is Tim B. Green. Bye for now.